Hi, this is going to help you out with question number, I believe it's number 7 from your review. So let me go to that so you guys can see the similarities between the question I gave you and this one. So they are very similar. This one's a little bit more tougher. They're talking about more options. But let me go ahead and go to this one. And actually, I'll modify this one so it could kind of kind of model what you're going to be doing. Okay, so in class, I kind of walked you through the proof of basically that you can find the probability of multiple events. Let me actually go ahead and do this one. So assume Johnny will randomly select a different sport in fall. So you have basically a box for fall that contains football and tennis. In winter, you have a different little box where you have basketball and soccer. Then in spring, you have a little different box for baseball, swimming, that's with W, and H for hockey. And you're randomly picking sports in each of these little boxes. So with that in mind, this question says, "What is a?" So Johnny will randomly select a different sport for fall and winter and spring. So what is the probability of Johnny randomly playing football and soccer and swimming? So what is that equal to? So go ahead and ask yourself, what are we finding? And after you ask yourself, I hope you're able to respond, and you're able to respond the following. We're finding the probability of randomly playing football and soccer, and swimming. So we're trying to find out what that equals to. So we're trying to find the football, the probability, and playing soccer in winter. And we're trying to select swimming for spring. SW for swimming. That's what we're finding. We're finding those probabilities. And let me use parentheses. We're finding those. And they're compound. That means that they have the word and means we're going to multiply. So now we have to find the probabilities of those events separately. So we're trying to find the probability of picking football. And represents multiplication. So we're going to multiply that probability with the probability of selecting soccer. So probability of selecting soccer. And that means multiply the probability of selecting swimming. As mentioned, the probability of swimming. SW for swimming. So, like I told you guys, just imagine a little box for each of these sports. This is a little box for fall. We have F for football, T for tennis. So, what is the probability of selecting football for that? This one. This is actually 1/2. Then we look at the other one too. It's actually let's see, it's 1/2 again. And then for spring, you also have the probability of selecting swimming is 1/2. And like I said, you have to be mindful and remember that we're multiplying these out. So when you multiply these out, you get the numerators times the numerators, and you get the denominators times the denominators times the denominators. So this is the problem with Johnny selecting a random sport for fall, winter, and spring. So this kind of gets upgraded. This problem gets upgraded with you now considering a change within the boxes. So what is the probability of now Johnny selecting different sports now? Oops, I actually made a mistake here. Didn't catch that. Oh, my bad. Before we can move on, I made a mistake. That is 3 in the bottom because there's 3 sports in spring. So that's 3. So when you do this, you should get 12 in the bottom and 1 in the bottom in the top. So I apologize. Let me move on though. So now you're talking about this type of problem where they tell you, hey, based off your table right now, your probability of selecting swimming and soccer and football is 1/12. So now consider changes within your boxes. So the question reads, assume Johnny is going to randomly select these sports for fall and winter and spring And the probability of Johnny playing football and soccer and swimming is 1 over 12. That was already confirmed from the previous problem. So how does the probability of Johnny randomly playing football and soccer and swimming change if golf is added to fall? So what's happening in fall is we're adding a sport. We're adding golf. We're adding golf into that little box. And then tennis and wrestling is added to winter sports. So tennis, let me use that. Tennis is added for winter in the little box for winter, and wrestling. So the question is still the same as before. We're finding the probability of football and soccer and swimming. So let me go ahead and write that out. So we're finding probability. Let me write it in blue. Football and selecting soccer still. As for soccer. Let's see. And swimming. SW for swimming. We're finding the probabilities of those compound events. So they're together now. So essentially, you're just finding the probability of playing football separate times the probability of selecting soccer times, because the word and tells us to multiply, probability of selecting swimming, SW for swimming. So we're trying to find those. So based off the first little box for fall, we have now football, tennis, and golf. So if I randomly select in this box, what is the probability if I randomly select football? So there's 3 options and there's only one football, so it's 1/3. Now let's look for the other box in yellow. We have a little box now with, it's an ugly, actually lime yellow, sorry. We have B for basketball, we have S for soccer, T for tennis, and W for wrestling. So the probability of selecting soccer randomly is now 1 over 4. Now the probability of selecting swimming stayed the same because there's only 3 options, and that's 1 over 3. And these 3 fractions, what we will be doing is we're going to multiply. We're going to multiply these out. If you multiply them out, you should get, correct me if I'm wrong, it's 36 in the bottom and 1 on top. Now, I told you guys that you could definitely do a tree diagram, but it will just be a very messy situation. And if you actually want to see that, then let me go ahead and do that for you. So let me quickly just kind of emphasize why it's really messy. So just like every tree diagram we started, we branch out 3 because there's 3 options. There's football, tennis, and golf. Within those branches, we branch out again. We branch out this time 4 branches for each of these options. And you guys should be quite basically seeing that this is getting really, really messy. And you could definitely, it gets messier because now you have basketball, soccer, tennis, wrestling, and you do the same thing for all of these. But then those branches within themselves are going to branch out 3 more. So 3 more, just imagine 3 more here, 3 more there, 3 more there, 3 more there, 3 more there, 3 more here and there. It just becomes such an ugly tree. That's why we decided to multiply and find the probability of those events. Anyways, I hope you guys